Here we go. Wednesday evening, I made myself a note. I read lots of biographies and I read lots of things about like maybe bands or companies and I always like the beginning of the story, like the beginning of the success. And I like so many things before they really become successful, but I'm also like very curious because I think that that like someone sets out to get to a certain point, like X, Y, and then when they get to Z, that was what they thought of in the beginning. And I think that that rarely happens. And I think there is often when someone sets out, I think we all set out to be successful, but when someone sets out to be successful, they have this image of this thing in the future, but oftentimes something comes along and kind of shifts it, and then it still becomes successful, but it seems like you can't be tied to that end game. So this may seem abstract, and I know that I often, and I hope maybe it's what you like, I don't know. I don't talk a lot about yoga as an inspiration, but yoga opens us up for the inspiration. But I like the inspiration of the world, and some of it comes from music, some of it comes from other places. So this story, although if I say it's about guitar amplification, you might be like, I don't want to hear about guitar amplification. But it's not about guitar amplification. It's about how someone started something and then how it became the biggest guitar amplifier in the sound of rock music. And it's interesting to me. And when I kind of digested how this happened, I was kind of blown away because the Marshall amplification is their logo is the sound of rock. It's the amp that Jimi Hendrix used, the Guns N' Roses Slash and Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin, and Eric Clapton and Cream, and all like everyone that you can name in rock will have used the Marshall amplifiers. So, and they're hugely successful. And they call it now the Marshall sound, and everyone tries to seek the Marshall sound. But where did the Marshall sound come from? Jim Marshall, of all things, was a drummer, and he owned Marshall's Music in England. And in England at the time, which would have been the early 60s, everybody, or the mid 60s, everybody wanted Fender amps. Fender amps are made in, actually, there's a California company, Leo Fender, and they're an American company. And you couldn't import easily these American products in the mid 60s to England. So trying to import this stuff, it was a nightmare. So the owner of the shop, Jim Marshall, one day says to an acquaintance of his who's really good with electronics, can you just build a Fender amplifier for me that we can sell here in the shop? And we'll call it the Marshall amplifier, whatever. So the guy tries to build the Fender amp because they just want a copy. They just want a Fender amp that they can sell in England because they can't get them from America, and that's what everyone wants. But as it turns out, they could also not get all of the parts that it took to make the Fender amp. So they had to replace things, and they had to find this part to replace this, replace this. They didn't make the same amp. It was not possible to make the same amp. They made an amp that was based on the Fender amp that became the Marshall amp that eventually became like the biggest amplifier ever in rock and roll music that will like, that probably could live on forever. But they didn't set out to do that. They set out just to try to make this Fender amp because they couldn't get it. I'm always blown away by that. And it's a great lesson for me of almost like non-attachment to just moving forward, but in non-attachment to the end game, because the end game, we don't really know what's going to be there when we get there. And anyways, I like that story. Thank you for coming. We will start standing, and anytime you want to start hopping, we will start with the hopping. I'm going to go on back, and thank you. Here we go. Core engaged. Hopping as much or as little as you want, depending on you know, who lives below you or not. No one lives below me. But it's nice to try to be conscious of what's around us. I was at a Thai restaurant the other day, and the guy in the table next to me was watching videos on his phone with the volume turned all the way up. I was like, this is kind of weird. He had no idea. But so we like to be aware of where we are and what's going on. That's called consciousness, I think. We can breathe in and out through the nose. The core is engaged. I'm going to pat the low ribs. I don't think I've done that in a while. And you can pat the kidneys. I'm doing that with fists. We're doing it lightly. Excellent. Feet about the distance of the hips. Core engaged. We're going to swing the arms forward one direction here at first. Should be conscious of how close I am to my wall. And then we're going to go the opposite direction, please. I like this on my shoulders. And then across the front, switching which hand goes on top. And a little extra one here. Come all the way around like you're hugging yourself, and then get your fingertips underneath like the wing bones down into your scapula area. And core is engaged. We're going to pull those bones a little bit forward. Excellent. Hands on the hips. Hips swinging around. And then please the opposite direction. We're getting kind of slow today. So speaking of shoulders, this is part shoulders, part low back. We're going to step the right foot directly over the left. And we're going to forward fold just partially because we want the hands above the ground so they can move. And then we're going to circle in those hands. And we're breathing in and out through the nose, really until the end of class. And it's a long and deliberate breath. The breathing is very important. Good, go ahead and switch the feet, and then we shall pendulum the arms. And I can't always demo the breath, so you might forget sometimes, not a problem, come back to it, but I'm talking, so it's a little hard to breathe and talk at the same time. Very nice. Let's stand, feet together, big toes touching, ankles a little bit apart, shoulders back, core in, thumbs out. I know that's a lot. I'll say it a few times anyways. We're going to sweep the arms above the head in prayer to the moon above us looking up. And then we're going to breathe out and forward fold, bringing the hands low. Try to keep the legs straight. So my hands go on the shins. Some of you may have the hands down on the ground outside the feet. That's great. We're going to look up, shoulder blades together. Forward fold on the out breath. And all the way back up, sweeping the arms up, hands in prayer to the moon above us. We're going to bring it down through the heart, and then all the way up again on the in-breath. Breathing out, forward folding, fingers low. We look up, and we forward fold. All the way back up again, reaching out and up. Down through the heart center. Up again on the in-breath. Breathing out, forward folding, fingers low. And we look up, shoulder blades together, core is in. Forward fold, out breath. Up again, reaching out and up. Down through the heart center. Up again on the in-breath, please. Breathing out, forward folding, fingers low. We look up. And we forward fold. All the way back up, reaching out and up. Down through the heart center. All the way back up again on the in-breath. Breathing out, forward folding. We're going to look up, and from here, we're going to step back to the top push-up. Belly and legs tight. We're going to hold here for a couple of breaths. And when you're ready, we're gonna lower, maybe hover 2 inches. We roll forward, up dog, third eye looking, and then down dog, pulling up and back. You can pedal the feet out if you like. You could stay still if you prefer. We're looking at the knees of the navel. Feet are 2 fists apart. Great. Walk your way up to the top of the mat, feet together, fingers low. We look up and we forward fold. All the way back up, reaching out and up. Hands in prayer down through the heart center. All the way back up on an in breath. Breathing out, forward folding, fingers low. And we look up and we're stepping again, top of push up. We're gonna lower drop, up dog, and down dog. If you want more movement, up on the toes on the in breath, down with the heels on the out breath. Otherwise, stay still and just keep breathing in the nose. Hands are the distance of the shoulders. Middle finger straight forward. Good. Step or jump, top of the mat. We look up and we forward fold. All the way back up, reaching out and up. Down again through the heart center and all the way back up on the in breath. Breathing out, forward folding. We look up, stepping again, top of push up. We lower drop, up dog, and down dog. And great, we're gonna breathe right here. And step or jump, top of the mat. We look up and we forward fold. All the way back up. Let's hold prayer to the moon. Core in and up. We're gonna, this is optional, but I'm gonna arch back and lift the heart up a little bit. And then let's bring the arms out, pushing the walls out. I'm gonna take the feet a little bit apart just for stability. I'm gonna really open the hands, keep on breathing. We want to keep the turning movement from the hips up so we're not turning down into the knees. They're going to move a little bit, but try to limit that. Up at the top, we'll turn and look to the right. And then up at the top, we're going to turn and look to the left. Very nice. Back to center and feet together again. Big toes touching, ankles apart. Let's let the knees fall together sitting in chair. Good. Up over, folding forward, fingers low. We look up. We're stepping again, top of push up. We're going to lower drop, up dog, and down dog. Warrior one, right foot stepping, left foot turns out. Arms up. Let's do a couple of moves on this one today. We haven't done in a while. Left thumb behind the hip. Keep the foot flat and the leg straight. And push that hip forward. When you first do that, it might not even move. Don't worry about it. And then see if that hip will stay where you pushed it, if it moved at all. And then reach the left handshake forward. The shoulder moves way easier than the hip. And then touch the ceiling. And again, hands back down, stepping. We're going to lower drop. Up dog. Down dog. Left foot stepping up to almost where the hand was, right foot turns out. Arms up for the moment, knee is over the ankle. Right thumb behind the hip, or whatever, however you can push that hip. Try to push it a bit forward. This side is not moving as much as my other side. And try to hold that there, right handshake forward. The shoulder is easier to move, of course. Great, touch the sky, and again, hands back down, stepping, we lower drop, up dog, and down dog, and we're gonna breathe here. And step or jump, top of the mat. We look up and we forward fold. Feet and knees, sitting in chair again, standing shoulders back. Excellent, let's continue. Chair, good. Up over, forward folding. We look up, lengthen the tail through the eyeballs, stepping again, type of push up. We lower, drop, up dog, down dog, warrior one on the right again. We bring hands in prayer to the moon above us, looking up. We're gonna take a couple breaths on this one. Excellent, hands down again, stepping, top of push up, we lower, drop, up dog, down dog, left side please, right foot turns out. Hands in prayer again above the head, core in and up. Maybe we're gonna stay here just looking up, if it doesn't bother your neck. Excellent, hands back down again, stepping, we lower, drop, up dog and down dog, and we're gonna stay right here. Good, step, jump, top of the mat, toes together, we look up. And we forward fold. Feet and knees sitting in chair again. Standing shoulders back. Couple more, here we go, sitting chair. Good, up over, forward folding. We look up. Stepping, top of push up. We lower, drop. Up dog, down dog. Warrior one, right foot stepping, left foot turns out. Hands in prayer, looking up. I said this the other night, I'm gonna say it again. When I was doing this in India, this movement was much faster. We would come up into warrior one and then arch back and then come right back down. So we didn't hold warrior one. So if you want to arch back, do it at the end of the pose, arching back here, and then just come right back down, hand down, stepping, top of push up. We lower, drop, up dog, and down dog. Left side, same thing. Back up. So we're going to set up the warrior one. And then this last little bit of it, if you want to arch it back, and then good, hands back down, stepping, we lower, drop, up dog, and down dog. Let's stay here. And step or jump, top of the mat, we look up, and we forward fold. Feet and knees sitting in chair, standing. We're going to do the last one with warrior two. Sit in chair and up over, forward folding. We look up, step back, type of push up. We lower, drop, up dog and down dog. Warrior two on the right, heel to heel, wrist to wrist. The hip now is rotating back. So before we pushed it forward in warrior one, and let's do the adjustment. So right hand holding the knee in place. Now left hip, we pull it back if it'll move. Again, just like the other one might not move too much. We're going to stay here on warrior two. I was teaching someone today and they asked me, is there a warrior four? And I thought that's an interesting question because we do 1, 2, and 3. And I've never heard this called warrior four. I've heard it called peaceful warrior and open warrior. Let's turn the hand so the palm faces the ceiling, and then we're going to arch back. But it's possible someone could refer to this as warrior four. But again, I've heard it as open warrior and peaceful warrior. We're going to look up along the elbow to the moon, breathing here. Excellent. Hands back down, step in. We lower, drop, up dog, and down dog. Left foot, warrior two, back up again. And let's do that adjustment. And we put the hand here for the knee, because if you pull your hip back, the knee is going to flop over. We don't want that to happen. So that pull the hip back. Doesn't take a lot of pressure to keep that knee in place. And then up with the arms into our warrior two. And that arching back. I never did this pose in India. It was not in the primary series. Core is engaged, we're breathing, looking up along the elbow to the sky or the ceiling or whatever's up there. Great, hands down again, stepping, type of push-up, we lower drop, up dog and down dog. And we're gonna stay right here breathing. All right, walk your way up to the top of the mat. We look up and we forward fold. Let's sit in chair. We're gonna stay here a little bit and breathe. Excellent. We'll stand feet apart, distance of the hips. You can grab elbows or prayer. We're gonna hang. You could bounce if you like, or just hang. Engage the core, come on all the way up, touch the ceiling. And then peace fingers are coming all the way down, scooping under the big toes. Big toes are pushing the fingers down, elbows away from the ears, top of the head down. We're going to keep breathing here. All the way up again, please. And then all the way back down. Each hand under each foot from the front. It's okay to bend the legs. See if you can get the toes up on the wrist. If you want more, you can pull up on the feet, but bring the top of the head down nonetheless. Great. Let's stand. We're just going to take a moment here. You can come back into mountain pose, feet together, ankles apart, Samastiti. Very nice. Sit in chair again, please. Great. Up, over, forward, folding. We look up, stepping top push-up. We're going to lower drop, up dog, down dog. Warrior two on the right, please. We take a couple breath here at least. For triangle, we're going to straighten the leg. We're going to reach out a bit, right hand down, left arm up. And we breathe here. If the hand is resting on the leg, keep it as light as possible. And maybe if you can have the palms out, that'll take away the chance of pushing on that leg too much. Both hands on the shin. We're going to shorten the stance a couple of inches. You could stay here. You could twist, right arm up. Legs straight, feet flat. That hand can work its way down. The leg, the left hand is the one I'm talking about that could work its way down. Great, hands down again, stepping. Have a push up, we lower drop, up dog, down dog. Left foot, please, warrior two. Back up. And we're going to breathe here. And straighten the leg in the front. For triangle, we're going to reach out a bit. Left hand down, right arm up. Both hands on the shin. Let's shorten the stance a couple of inches. Be conscious of where your hip is. Where it is now is where we want it to stay rather than jetting out. And we're going to reach that left arm up if we're twisting. Very nice. Hands down again. We're stepping type of push-up. We lower drop, up dog, down dog, and we're going to stay here breathing. Excellent. Step, jump, top of the mat, toes together. We look up and we forward fold. Feet and knees sitting in chair again. Standing, shoulders back, tight core. Very nice. Let's continue. We sit in chair. And up, over, forward, folding. We look up. We step in, top of push-up. We lower drop. Up dog. Down dog. Warrior two, right foot again. Stepping to the top, heel to heel. We'll take a couple of breaths here. We're going to do extended side angle, forearm on the leg, left arm up and over. The visual is to the ceiling along the arm unless you put the hand down and it's slightly forward to the reaching hand. Good, let's just put the hands back down, stepping type of push-up. We lower drop, up dog, down dog, left side, warrior two. We're going to stay here for a couple of breaths. And forearm on the leg, right arm up and over, long reaching, deep breathing. Again, hands back down, stepping, tap push up, we lower drop, up dog, down dog, horse, right foot. You step whatever foot you need depending on your space. But feet are about the distance of the elbows. But let's put the hands on the legs. Here's the one place you can have the hands heavily on the legs. We're going to keep the arms straight and drop the rear end down. That'll lengthen the back a little bit. Do right shoulder forward, and then left shoulder forward, and a little back and forth. Good. Let's come up and hold the sky. We're going to breathe here. Excellent, straight the legs, we'll turn the feet to run straight forward. We're gonna reach straight up and then straight down. Hands right under the shoulders, head toward down. Best we can, wide-legged forward fold, elbows, would go back through the legs, but it may not even make a difference for some of us. As in that you won't see it, but it doesn't mean you can't push a little bit in that direction. And back up, we're gonna reach out to the ends of the fingers. And then behind the back, we'll intertwine those fingers and we forward fold again. Good, all the way up again, we touch the ceiling, all the way down again. Grab shins, ankles, or big toes with the peace fingers, elbows away from the ears, top of the head down. And we'll stay down low, both hands over to the right for a moment, left shoulder under and through. And please over to the other side. Great, we're gonna come up to standing, we're gonna shorten the stance to about 3.5 feet. We're gonna turn the left toes out the back and the right foot about 45 degrees. We'll bring the arms out, and then behind the back for pyramid, we'll grab elbows or reverse prayer. Bring your shoulder blades back in together, we're gonna look up, and we're gonna come down and look at the left foot. You could stay like this, or you could come into warrior number 3. You could do half moon. You could twist half moon, switching the hands. And then we're gonna put that right foot back and we're gonna pivot left toes 45, right toes straight forward. Hands again behind the back, shoulder blades together as we look up. And down we come looking at the right foot. Again, it's optional as all of it is, warrior 3 if you like. Half moon if you like. Twisting the half moon. Let's stand. You can move around a little bit if you like. We're gonna do tree, standing on the left foot. Grab that right ankle, maybe get it locked, maybe hold it there. Find your visual lock, hands maybe to the heart or all the way up. Let's switch the feet, the whole pose. Great, let's switch the feet again. With the left foot down, grab the right ankle, reach the knee down towards the earth and the left arm straight up to the sky. It's not King Dancer, but you're welcome to do that. We won't be here super long. core is in, lengthen the quad, the top of the leg here, down through the knee as if the foot is down there. Great, let's do the other side. Left is coming up. Left quad is reaching through the knee like we're trying to push the foot hard on the earth. We'll take a couple of breaths here, about the same as we did, hopefully, on the other side. Excellent. We're going to come into our squat. Toes slightly splayed. Heels about the distance of the hips, maybe mildly wider. Going to come down and put the elbows into the legs, hands in prayer pushing together. Lengthen up the back, so don't have the face coming down. We're going to lengthen up the back. We'll take several breaths here. Very nice, hands in prayer straight forward, all the way up to the moon. And then all the way back down, hands in prayer straight forward. Again, all the way up to the moon. Back down, hands in prayer straight forward. All the way up again. Back down, hands in prayer straight forward. One more all the way up. And one more back down. I'm going to crawl back because I'm going to double up my mat. We're going to be on the knees. Cat-cow if you want to get started. And we double up that mat by pulling a little bit over the center here. Knees are 2 fists apart. We're hands and knees, and the belly drops down. We're looking up third eye. Breathing out, arching the back. Moving and breathing. And back to center, let's look over the right shoulder and see the tail. And over please to the other side. Good, we're gonna start with the twist that we skipped. So right foot up at the top and the arms up in a big funnel here. Great, let's twist left elbow outside of right leg. Hands in prayer into the chest. We'll turn the fingers of the face. We're rotating that right shoulder back. You could roll back on the ball of your left foot if you want that. Excellent. Let's do the other side. Right knee back. Left foot up to the top. Arms up again. A big funnel. We'll take a few breaths here. And again, we twist. Right elbow outside. Left shoulder back. Left elbow pointing to the moon. Well, at least straight up to the ceiling. I'm not really sure where the moon is, so straight up. Good. Let's switch again. Right foot up top. Now arms straight up. And we're going to stay here and breathe. And you're ready, when you're ready down on the inside, you could walk the hands forward, trying to bring the elbows down, even if they don't get down. In between can be pretty intense. I'm gonna keep my hands relatively close to right where the feet are. I'm out a little bit. Excellent. Let's do the other side. Left foot up to the top, arms straight up. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. And again, we're coming down on the inside. We still want the knee over the ankle and the knee is pulling against the shoulder. As the elbows come down, you're still gonna try, but it's gonna probably be a little bit more on your side, pulling against your side, but we keep breathing. If you doubled up your mat, you're gonna need to undouble it, and we're stepping all the way back to the top of push-up. We're gonna lower drop, up dog, down dog. Let's hold the right foot up over the back wall. You can bend that leg if you like. And then we're gonna throw that shin up top. The knee is almost at the right wrist. The right foot is coming towards the left hand. Crawl the left knee back, getting distance there. We look up and then we're coming down into pigeon, or at least the base. And we're gonna breathe here. All right, let's step that leg back. You could shake it if you like. Top of push-up again. We're gonna lower drop, up dog, down dog. We're gonna hold the opposite leg up, left. You could bend that leg if you like. And we're gonna throw that knee up to the wrist. Foot coming towards the other wrist, but doesn't have to go all the way. Most of us it's not going to. Crawl the knee back, look up, and back down we come. And we're gonna breathe here, breathing in the nose. And one last time, we are stepping back. You could shake that leg. Top of push-up. Get extras if you want them. We're gonna lower down, up dog, down dog. And let's sit, legs straight out in front tonight. Feet together, just like when we're standing. And now we're gonna touch the ceiling on the in-breath and on the out-breath, folding down and all the way back up and over, please. Every out-breath is the downward fold. As we're doing this movement, you can see that the outside edges of the feet might be turning in as you forward fold. That's okay, but see if you can keep it from doing that too much. And let's touch the ceiling and then arms down. We're going to start with a different version of cobbler today. So we're going to bring, again, the soles of the feet together. We're going to, again, pull them in tight. But on this one, we're going to do the way that, the first way that I learned it, although there's multiple ways. We're going to take the thumbs and put them into the arches of the feet and try to turn those feet open like we're opening a book here. And then push the elbows into the legs, and then try to put your heart down in that book, but at the same time, keep your shoulders blades back and together, which will not make it easier, but it's not about easy. It's about just getting the body where we can stretch it a little bit and breathe. Great, back up. We're gonna put the left leg straight out in front. That foot will stay with the toes pointing to the ceiling, and the right foot is flat on the mat, knee up also. Left arm grabs that leg, right hand behind you. We're going to rotate the shoulder back. You can bring the elbow outside if you like. We sit up tall. We look at the eyeball line on the wall. Excellent. Let's switch side. Right leg out, left sole in. Right arm's going to grab that leg. Again, we're going to sit up nice and tall. And if you want the elbow outside, and generally with all of it, if you can, whatever you did on the other side will match that. Excellent. Back around. We'll be on the tail. If you want to double up the mat back here, I'm going to do that. And arms under the legs. Let's roll back onto the tail. You can stay right here. You can let go. Please lock the shoulders back. You can straighten the legs. Hands behind the head's a lot of work. We're doing 5. Cross the legs, grab the shins, sit up nice and tall. Excellent. Up again for number 2. Cross the legs, sit up tall. Up again for 3. Cross the legs, sit up tall. Up for 4. Cross the legs, sit up tall. and back up. Great. If you flipped up the mat, we're going to unflip it because we're lying back for bridge or Urdhva Dhanurasana, your choice. So feet down flat. We'll lift the hips, tuck the shoulders, intertwine the fingers, and push the arms down. And we're going to stay here, nice and simple breathing. And we'll come on down. And for those of you that like, we're going to go upside down, starting with plow, kicking the feet up and over the head. We're going to do the full 5 breath here. I'm going to keep my hands on the back though. Intertwine fingers with the arms down is more the tradition. Before you bring the feet up, think about whether you want the elbows in tighter, closer to the distance of your shoulders. It's easier to do with the legs back here and then up, and then that weight is in the elbows and the shoulders. And we're going to breathe here, looking at the feet. And let's bend the legs, and we're going to roll down into a dead bug. Knees in the armpits, soles of the feet up to the ceiling. You could stay still or rock around. We're all going to do that final leg stretch that sometimes people like to use a strap, a belt, or a rope. So if you got anything nearby, or even a t-shirt, it doesn't have to be that long. Go ahead, bring the knees into the chest. Pull the shins down and bring the nose up. Good. And then I got my, it's just a piece of material. I'm going to go right first tonight, so right on right. If you don't have a strap, grab the back of your leg, try to keep the leg straight. Those of you that are more flexible will grab the big toes with the peace fingers, but the leg should be straight. That's why the strap works for me. And we're going to stay here and breathe. Move a little bit. Let that leg fall out to the right as you reach out and look to the left. We're maintaining our grip on that leg when it fell out. So if it's the belt or the hand, whatever it is, if it's too much, bend the leg and just hold the knee. And we're going to come all the way up, switch hands on the leg. However, whatever you're holding, switch hands. That leg comes all the way to the left as we reach out and look to the right. Bring that leg back to center. Both hands come up the back of the leg. Bring the nose towards the knee. We're going to take a couple of breaths right here. Great. Let's put that down and we're going to switch. So left on left. And we'll stay with the foot straight up. Though those of you that are flexible, the foot is coming down towards the face, and that's how you're able to grab the big toe with the peace fingers with arms straight and legs straight. It's a ways off for me. And that leg will fall out to the left as you reach out and look to the right. And all the way up, switching hands on the leg. Let that leg drop to the right as we reach out to the left. And up to center, both hands on the back of the leg, nose towards the knee. Do your best to hold that right leg down. Good. We're going to lay down. You could stay laying down, but I'm going to set up this spine support that really opens up the chest and shoulders a bit if you want to do that with me. If you otherwise lay down, but if you're doing that with me, we're rolling up the mat absolutely tight as possible. Real tight. And then when we lay down, this is going to be on our spine with the head about in the middle of the head. So I don't like when the head drops off. So let's see, I'm in frame here. Right. And you'll have to adjust yourself a little bit, but I like the center of my head supported by the end of the mat. And then, so the tailbone's off a little because this is short. So sometimes it's best to have the feet flat with the legs straight, but you could let the legs out if it doesn't bother you with the spine kind of dripping down there. And I like the arms out and then really focus on letting those shoulders drop around as your heart goes up just because the shoulders are dropping down in a way. Let the breath return to normal, and we're going to stay here just for a little bit. To get off the mat, we'll do it together. We're going to roll off to the left and then put our right hand flat on the ground and push ourselves up to sitting. The rest of you can sit however you like. Once sitting, we're going to bring the hands to the heart center, rubbing them together, making a bit of fire. And then we're going to reach the arms all the way up into the sky. We're going to take a breath in through the nose as much as we can get. We're going to breathe in more through the mouth and even more. Hold the breath, tighten the core, tighten the legs, lift the floor. And let it all out. You're living your dream, don't miss it. Namaste. It's danieloverberger.com if you need links to my Venmo and PayPal. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming out this evening. Let me end the recording.